Hey, what's going on, guys? Lost with Custom Offset. Today's video, we are going to be hopping into some of the most iconic trucks ever built. I mean, we're talking anything from literally when Henry Ford came out with the freaking Model T or whatever. It's been so long. There's been millions of truck builds. And today, a couple of us are going to be putting together a list of some of our favorite, most iconic builds in our opinion. Once again, like I said, this is totally opinion-based. If you guys want to drop down in the comment section below some of your favorite, most iconic builds of all time, you guys can definitely do that. And as well, if you guys need wheels, tires, suspension, performance accessories, literally anything to make your truck iconic, you can find all that at customoffsets.com. Let's get into it. All right, so first up on the list is going to be my pick before we hop into juniors and so on and so forth. We've got a bunch of people who are in this video. So I actually picked Scoop's Joker Stroker. That's what you called it.
Don't know if that's what you can call it live on camera. Joker Power Stroke.
Well, anyways, his Joker dually, the thing was massive. It took top 5 truck at SEMA 2015, which means it was built 2014. So if you think about the quality and the overall build of that truck back in 2014, it's pretty insane. Yeah. One of the biggest things, I think, just the attention to detail, going over a couple things. You know, in the grill you can have, I think like John has the light bar in his grill. He took that and put a sound bar in his grill. Yep. He took audio to the whole next level.
All about his audio.
Yeah.
Even if it was like in today's world, it's still next level, and it was that 6 years ago.
Yeah. Another crazy thing was train horns. Usually people have like the 5 horns out the back. He had 24 freaking train horns. And he didn't have 24 out the back. He had 12 going left, 12 going right underneath, fully powder coated.
Do you think if you hit them all at once, that thing just like floated in the air for a little bit?
I would my pants. Legit, it would shake me. He had like the matte black and then had
matte
everything.
Black and matte gray?
Yeah, it was like a matte black, matte gray. And then had everything in the like illusion purple, kind of like Rainey's powder coat. Yep. He had 3 different separate layers of wrap to get all the embossed.
See, that was my favorite part, because I saw the render that he had done before he started building it. And I'm a huge like Batman, Joker fan, all of that. So like I saw it and I'm like, that's pretty cool. But it was like, I'm pretty sure it was like bright lime green, bright purple, and maybe there's a little bit of red in it too, so it was very like colorful. And then the way he actually did it was completely different. And I was like, I like that.
I like that.
I'm a man of simplicity, right? So like having the color, like the black or the dark gray with like that little bit of purple was like perfect.
Not only was it so crazy back in 2014, 2015, you know, being on air, like obviously back then air was very rare. Air even today isn't common, but it's getting to that point. Yep. So to see that 6, 7 years ago is pretty insane. But I think we both know that it's the story after the build.
Oh, God.
And really put like Scoop on the map, I feel like.
Well, got him all the builds he has not got him the builds he has today, but like that turned into all of a sudden him having his OBS crew cab.
Yeah.
And then his Tahoe, and then his new dually, and like they're all white, and then they're all blue, and then they were all blue cow camo, and like just the evolution of all of that like started from that first big build, I would say.
Well, I got you here. What is your most iconic, best build since Nam?
I don't know why, because it's not iconic, but it's like the first thing I thought of for some reason when I thought of like the pickup truck that you think of when you think of like overall. I picked the Ironhide Transformer from like the Transformers movies. It's a GMC Top Kick, which is the same thing as a Chevy Kodiak. And like, I don't know if it's just because like the iconicness from it was like, it was high school, Transformers came out, Megan Fox was in it. I'm hoping you're showing the clip of her with the hood open that like everyone in high school oohed and awed about. That is what I think of, is like that whole movie and like Transformers, and how like they had like the new at the time Camaro, and he had the old Camaro that switched in, and like all of this stuff that just like at the time was super iconic. And that truck, like sure you could pick Optimus Prime, but that's like a semi, it's not a pickup truck. This is like a GMC 6500 crew cab with giant chrome stacks on it and a pickup bed on the back. And I don't know, there's just something cool about it. All of that together kind of has it as one of my like top favorites.
Solid pick. All right, Junior. Well, thank you for joining.
Hell yeah, peace.
Next. All right, guys, next up on the list, we have my boss.
Do you even know trucks?
All right, what's the most iconic truck?
The most iconic truck of all time.
Yeah, like of all time.
Legendary truck that blends WWE and NASCAR.
Since the Model T, what's the best one?
I forgot.
Ever.
I forgot his name.
Real iconic.
The Gravedigger!
Oh, shoot! The Gravedigger. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
So why? Why'd you pick the Gravedigger?
Because, dude, I mean, even when I was a little kid, I just think about like any type of pickup truck or any type of truck in general, I automatically go to monster truck. And what's the first monster truck you think of?
Gravedigger.
Gravedigger.
Dude, back in the day, I used to love going to see the Gravedigger.
Dude, and all the clips of them just like flipping or being on their side wheels and just turning and
You don't think that there's much skill to it, but they sit there and like whip
yeah.
it nonstop. It's crazy.
yeah, and like catch their momentum
Yeah.
and then flip it. Yeah, dude.
That just says something about like Gravedigger back in the day. Like he built up such a following, you know, now to the point where, like you said, it's now turned into a team thing, almost like a brand thing. Where
Yep.
it's going to be like, it's going to continue. He's going to go down in history. They're like iconic.
Yeah.
Why do you think it was so iconic and so successful to really get inside like your head?
I think just kind of like saying what I said before, like being little, like even I've never even been to a Gravedigger show or a Monster Max or anything, but I remember seeing all the toys and seeing all like the vintage shirts and like it was just literally everywhere, whether you liked it or not. And like with me being into like WWE, I feel like it was kind of a similar like subculture. So I don't know if you can. There's another truck out there that is as prolific and as identifiable. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Keaton, aka my boss man, for stopping by and talking about the most iconic trucks. Go give me a raise. All right, guys, next up on the list, obviously had to bring Rainey into it. All right, Rainey, what is the best, most iconic truck build of all time? In your opinion, obviously.
I did more of a horsepower build and then one that was more of a throwback to 2015. Did Levon Miller's quad cab, and if you're into performance diesels, you know that truck because it won a lot of stuff. And then Joe Rubio's 4th gen on the air ride, because back when he was around and that was the truck to go to, it was just, that was a wild truck and Joe Rubio partied and
Yeah.
pretty much, I think, set the scene for what it is now. So he won, was it Diesel Power Challenge or Ultimate Call-Out Challenge 2 years in a row, and they just told him not to come back.
Yeah. I think
And
they
that's
said it was
what
like
it was.
1,400 horsepower.
Yeah, he drove it there with the trailer, with the truck on it. He's gone to Shy Diesel with a 2-truck trailer on it, competed, did the show and shine, trailer those trucks. Like, it is an all-around workhorse show truck, drag vehicle, sled pulling. Like, it just does like everything well.
Really well, yeah.
Yeah, and like Levon, I was watching one of his videos. He's like, "Yeah, this is my only vehicle," so we just kind of threw parts at it and hope it stuck. And I'm hoping I made it to work on Monday, like most of us do. So
Yeah.
that's what I liked. Was like, yeah, we own Fire Punk, but like this is my only vehicle. We're gonna make it work, and I have to work on Monday. So it's like,
Can relate.
yeah, everyone knows that struggle. And like when you try and like make that power, make a nice clean truck that has to haul other stuff, you're like, well, like we got to do it right. We got to do it once. I need to work on Monday. And then like Joe Rubio's truck, I don't know, like air ride back then wasn't like super common, and I say that loosely because it's still not like common, but it is definitely coming more out into the scene now. But back then that truck was just air ride, manual 9-paddle switch. Like, it was an OG truck.
Yeah.
And it was dope. It was simple but clean.
He was one of the OG truck builders as well, you know, back in
Yeah.
the day before, obviously, rest in peace him. But yeah, that thing was beautiful. Had always done his builds very well.
As far as I know, it was his only vehicle. Drove it everywhere. Had a deer with it going to Shy Diesel and just put a Fetty Wap sticker next to it. I mean, like that's a guy you can relate to. Like when you go into a show and you smash a f***ing bird in your headlight, you're like, oh, damn, like now you don't want to even show it. And he's just like Fetty Wap. Like I thought that was like as we were walking by, I'm like, dude, headlights Fetty Wap. I'm like, damn. I think it's one of the most iconic in my opinion. So.
Damn, Rainey came out swinging with some good ones this time. Well, thank you for coming on and on all the rest of us.
I try.
All right, guys. Next up on our list, we got Glenn. Glenn, what is the most iconic build
Pull up this list here.
of all time?
So I
Since
got,
forever.
well, so these are personal choices too, so there's no like opinions from you on this one, because I know who you picked. But anyways, I grew up watching Walker Texas Ranger, and the Dodge truck they use as a cop truck, that's one of the most iconic trucks. It was a 1995 Dodge Ram 1500 Club Cab SLT pickup. They had cool strobe lights and the big old bull bar and stuff, you know.
Obviously, there's not a ton done to this truck, but you're taking it as a route of like
movie
trucks
icon.
you'll always remember.
Yes.
Iconic
Yep.
theme. Okay, so not like you'll see it at like SEMA 2012. You're thinking more like, I grew up watching this, I'll always remember it.
And if I could go find the exact replica, I would buy it.
All right.
Just because I wouldn't do a thing to it.
All right, Glenwell, thank you. Next up on the list, we've got AKA Biggs, AKA Notorious B.I.G.G.S., AKA...
Will you shut up?
Now I gotta redo my whole intro. So what truck do you have for us? I wanna hear it. What do you think is the most iconic truck of all time? The most. The best. The best of them all. Ever since Henry Ford came out with the Model T, what is the best truck build ever? Let's hear it.
No.
Come on. No! I want to hear it live and full volume.
Okay, so my pick was actually Whistling Diesel's Monster Max. That fire. Also, from Indiana, so I had to go back home, you know, pick the best from there. And I would say that it takes the cake for a pretty iconic truck.
Yeah, it's very well known. He's also not afraid to jump it, roll it, do whatever he wants. He pushes it to the limits. And
He pushed it to the limit. Like,
Yeah.
he's getting it rebuilt now, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, did you see the rebuild happening?
yeah, just when I thought it couldn't get any better than what it already was, he's like posting pictures of it getting rebuilt. That thing's insane.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about it. Why would you consider it to be iconic?
I think it's super iconic, at least for me, because I recently got more into the truck game or the truck industry or even just building trucks in general. Obviously, once I started here, more so than I ever have been. And I think that most of his trucks have shown me like what a cool truck could be. And also that it is just a vehicle. Like, I mean, it's one of those things like it's a materialistic thing and you shouldn't get too attached because there's always something out there that could be better.
Right.
That literally displays everything that a truck builder should look into or like be like, because, you know, he took it in the ocean, he did some crazy stuff with it, and then he broke it, and now he's gonna rebuild it into something even better than it was before. So
Going back, especially with us being like in the YouTube / truck scene,
Yeah.
he hits it like nail on the head, hits it perfect. He takes his truck, he uses it, he abuses it, and he's in a position where he can really take it even farther. You know, when he wrecked it, we thought that was the end of Monster Max. We
Yeah.
thought that it was dead. We thought he was going to cut losses, be done. And
But
then
no,
he
he's about to-
took it to the next level. So.
yeah.
All right, that's what we got for you on this episode of some of the most iconic builds. Once again, this is all opinion-based. It's what we all picked. Obviously, there has been a ton of builds throughout the history of trucks in period. So if you guys got a specific build that you guys really enjoy, definitely send it our way. And if you guys want to start to make your truck iconic, you can find all sorts of parts, customoffsets.com. See you guys next one.